no, I'm Dan.
Hi, I'm Graham, and
Together
we are the Woolly Cod Wanderers. Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. This video we're going to have a play with me back nose. Come on. Right, as I say, this door, this is not being touched because this is our sticker wall. So we're leaving that one as it is. And as I say, that is the plastics which we've got round here for the shower area. So we're not going to touch that one. I'll get that one out of the way. But what we're looking at doing is having a play with this one. Now we've got the panel on, which was the original one that we've cleaned up and put back on, which is the same as our sticker wall one. However, I don't know if you can see from there, but we've got this large gap when the door is shut. Yeah, and it's not really showing up very well, but here from there across there. So the idea is that if we take this off and use part of inside of the door, I don't know yet, it's just something I'm going to have a play with to try and create an extra area, so that with this gap that we can try and fill it, maybe for just coat hangers, for hanging coats or whatever. But I'm going to have a play. I've clamped the sides now, the inside panels of that little shelf area, and this area here, I've dropped all the wires from here round into this area. This can have a panel on it that can be removed. However, this area here had quite a bit of rust, so I've rubbed it down and I've put the rust remover on it now, so I'm just waiting for that to go off. Then we'll apply another coat, wipe that, put a bit of red lead and then a bit of spray paint over it. Although it's going to be hidden, it's a bit of rust, make sure we get it, otherwise it turns into a major job, doesn't it? So just waiting for that to go off and then I can get on with that. But as you can see, it's coming along now, the back door. As I say, those hooks and those coat hooks and these hooks were put on so we could go away, but they need to come off, as I need to do a bit of sanding, and then it all needs to be osmoed, and we need to look at a way of finishing off this edge along this side here. I was thinking of maybe trying to get some sort of like a draft excluder or something just to go along there to tidy up the edge, but we'll see. But anyway, just waiting for that to go off now. Right, reference the back door where we've got the little shelf. I've put just a piece of plyboard on the side which is being glued and left overnight, so I can take these clamps off from holding that, and then we can look at tongue and grooving around there. You notice this piece of wood here, and the reason for that is it's glued into place so that when you're coming across from this level across to there, it's the same depth, because with the van it drops in here, and for me to glue me tongue and groove on, I need it to be on a level par type of thing, so I can put some glue down there, and then just stick the tongue and groove onto that. Right, reference the bottom bit. As I say, I've wire brushed all that down, treated it for rust, put the red Amorite thing on, or undercoat, and then I've now sprayed it. So that's now done, so that I can complete the tongue and groove. This section, however, this bottom section, is going to be on a thin piece of ply with tongue and groove onto it, because that section is going to be screwed, so that if you need to get into the workings for the van, you can just unscrew that plate and get to where you need to be. So that's the next job now, is to take the clamps off, put the tongue and groove down the side and the front of that, and then make the board for the bottom section. So that's my next job. Right, we've got the back door finished. I made a little heart-shaped thing so we can put coat hooks on there. And the reason for the heart is so that the heart is glued to the tongue and groove, and the screws just go along enough just to go through the wood, just to nip into the 8mm ply, 8mm tongue and groove. And then I've also made this with some extra little hooks. We've then got a little storage shelf there, and at the bottom of the storage shelf I've put 3 hooks so we can hang different items that you might need a little space for. And then the bottom, believe it or not, that is your toilet roll holder. And then this, I'm going to look at putting a little net across, but that was there because there's a bolt in there to do with the outside. And this bottom section here actually comes off so that you can get at the wires, so it's just screwed in place into the door. So that is the door finished. The reason we put those hooks on there is for your normal daily coats, because although we have a spot here above the shower, that basically is for when the coats are wet. If the coats are wet, we can hang them in there and the water just drips into the shower tray. However, because of the shape of the van, when you put coats on there, they tend to hang out quite a way. So that was why we've come up with the other idea for hanging the coats. But there we go, trying to utilise this space a bit more. Right, you know, a little drop down little table here that we've got. We needed to find some way of holding it when it came down, so it held it level, so you can put your cups and that on it. Well, Jane's been at her handiwork again. So she started off by actually putting the hook through to start it, and made this lovely like rope design, which we just need to now tie off underneath. But Jane will show you how you do it.
Graham's bought me these spools of jute, natural jute, and what I've done is I've got a piece of card and drawn round a cup, then made 8 little slits round the side and a hole in the middle. And because we needed to have an eye screw at the bottom, I put my jute through the hole. Now, it wanted them 20 inches long, and I accidentally got it right. Each strand I made 60 inches long, then doubled them up through the loop, through the hole, and then you place 1 string in each and 2 strings in just one random one. And then what you do is you count from your little slit there, which is empty. You go 1, 2, third one into the slit, turn round, 1, 2, third one into the slit, hand round to the slit, 1, 2, third one round into the slit, and then gradually this starts popping out the bottom, which is quite decorative.
Are you having a nice play?
I'm having a lovely play.
Well, we've completed the step. So what we've used is a standard mat that I've cut, measured the distance here, cut so that the welcome was central to it, and then all these bits are actually the remainder of the mat that I've cut to fit in sections. It's all been double-sided taped to the actual step, and I don't know if you can notice this trim. I'll come down here. This trim here is a bit of the plastic thing that I had left over from when I was putting the flooring down for the trim at the back door. So I've put that on there, whether it'll stay or not, because it's got movement in it, although I've just glued this edge on there. But we'll see how it lasts. If it doesn't last, I'll have to maybe look at some other way of finishing it. It was just so that you didn't see the raw edge of the matting as you looked at the van. So, but that's our step done. We finally put Jane's rope that she made in place to finish the edge off where the slidey door is. So it comes down there like that. And all the way to the bottom. As I say, we've just used clear adhesive on it, and it seems to have gone off okay, apart from that little section there. So I'm going to have to put a bit more glue on to try and hold that in place. But other than that, it's not too bad, and it does give you a nice finished edge. Oh, and the other thing we've been doing is around Jane's mirror. So it's just one of those like a plastic thing that we've put on there, and we've then put, Jane's done this weave that we've now clear glue, used a clear sealant on to hold in place, and it just finishes the mirror off, or that's what we think anyway. But that's that mirror finished. Hello, what are you doing? No, just to show you, when I said about this being a toilet roll holder, if you sat on the toilet, it's a lot easier to get this up and then stick it back in there when you're finished. And as I say, it can hold 3 toilet rolls comfortable, so we keep it topped up, so when you're going out on your trip, you know you've always got toilet rolls, and you don't have to find anywhere to store them because they're all stored in the door. So that's how the toilet roll holder works. Well everyone, that's what we've been up to with the back door and Jane's weaving. I think you call it, what you call it, darling? Is it weaving that you've been doing? The basket, the rope, oh excuse me, designs.
I think that was French knitting, that one.
Oh sorry, French knitting, I do stand corrected. Anyway, so those are the little jobs that we've been getting on with. And also, if you've seen our videos of late, we've had, I wonder if everyone noticed the change of the roof. Anyway, this little clip here shows you what's been on with the roof. Right, this is the roof of the van, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of rust on the passenger side, and there's also rust developing over on the driver's side. So what we're looking at doing is sanding them down back to the bare metal, treating them, and then painting the whole roof. So the first job, I suppose, is we need to sand them down to get rid of the rust, then wash all the roof down, then treat what was the rust spots, and then we'll look at painting the roof. All the roof being done. But if you notice this here, I've tried to get in to the base of the metal as much as I possibly can, but it's left this little bit in the middle of it. However, that's not too bad, I don't think. I don't know what I'm showing here because I can't see on my screen, but yeah, that's how we got them. That was a really bad one, and the other ones were just quite little ones. As you say, still a bit in there, but we're going to use this rust remover. I'll show you what we're going to use anyway. Right, so the first thing we're using is this rust remover. So basically you apply this on, work it into the rusted areas, then leave it for 15 minutes, then put it on again and then give it a quick wipe over. So that's that first. Then once we've done that and that's dried out, it's going to use this Amorite red oxidized primer, basically to seal all the metal up, and then we're ready to start thinking about painting the roof. Well, there we go. That's the primer on now, and we have to leave that to dry out, and then I was going to look at putting the paint over the top, but when I've read the instructions on the primer, it says that you need to apply a second coat. So we'll leave it overnight and we'll look at putting a second coat on hopefully tomorrow. Well, there we have the first coat of paint onto the roof. If you notice this side here and that side there, I'd put some masking tape because I wanted to keep that as a white strip, but now I see it, don't like that. So what I'm going to do is paint that down there and paint on that one down there, so you've still got your white band coming down from the side here, so that'll still be come down that way. So that's what I was wanting. As you see, the front edge, you can see I've missed a couple of spots, and you'll notice I've taped up round the aerial so I could paint round it. However, I've taped it up so far up because the rubber seat that the aerial sits on starting to perish. So I thought, oh, I'll stick a bit of paint on it. I don't know what it'll look like. We'll have to take that off and see what it's like. But I'll show you on the top anyway, so you can see what it's like. Oh. Bear in mind, this is only just the first coat, but there you have it. That's the first coat on, and I've put it so it's just on the inside rails, but it needs tidying up round where the solar panel is. But as you say, it's first coat, so we'll leave that now a few days, although it's seems quite dry, but I'd rather leave it a few days to cure, and then we'll look at doing the proper finished second coat and tidy up the areas that need tidying. But I'll have to have a look at that. In fact, let's take it off. Well, I've took the tape off, and as you can see, the bottom layer I tried to put some paint on where the rubber was starting to perish, but it's bled through in a couple of spots. Not really happy with that. I'm gonna have to have a rethink. Tell you what, let's have a look at what it looks like from the front. Oh, don't think it looks that bad, does it? Now if I tidy it up, get a second coat round it, it'll probably be alright. But as you see, that front lip right on the edge of it where the rubber is, you haven't caught the edge properly, so I'm gonna have to do that. But the next thing, as I say, is these little sides up here. I'm going to paint them, take them up to the metal edge. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do next. Right, we decided to spray it black around the aerial, which I think will look better. But obviously we've got the overspray on at the moment, but when we come to put the final coat on the roof, we'll cover that. Reference this corner because I'd sprayed it, there was a bit on this white bit here which needed treating, where I've used a bit of spray, but the only thing is with it, you know how they say cut it in, but you see how that's such a different white. My fault, basically. I just used a normal tin of white spray paint. What I should have got was the proper colour for the Sprinter, the proper shade of white, should I say. But what I'm thinking of doing now is sectioning this off here down to that point there and doing all that panel a shade of white. But you can see that white's just totally wrong, so we need to order the correct one. Then I think I will tape that off and just do that whole panel. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. So as you can see there, we've got still a lot of work to do on the roof, and it was more a case of, do we do the roof or go out in the van? Out in the van, do the roof. We've been going out. So, and as I say, now the weather's turned, so we're gonna have to wait till the new year. But what we're looking at doing, as I say, is the panel. I'm going to do the full panel white where it meets the roof, so that if it is a different shade, it won't stand out as much. But we're going to try and get the proper Sprinter colour paint, what it is, the white paint for that. Then we need to put a new coat right across the whole of the roof and touch all the edging up. And then we might put some little trims on it or whatever. But that's where we are with the roof, and where the other jobs are at now. So until next time, bye for now.